Hey guys, it's Jason, aka Orange Demon on C4GNation.com. We just picked up some black housing Halo headlights from AutoCityImports.com, and we're going to show you today how to install them on the 4G. This is actually Black Angel's 4G, so the next 10 or 15 minutes we're going to show you how to get those out and put these in. It's a 4-step process that usually consists of taking the bumper off, taking the stock headlight out, putting the new one in, wiring it up. It is a plug and play as far as the actual lighting goes, so it's just really easy with that. You just plug it in. The next step is a little bit more difficult. We'll have to find the accessory mode options for the fog lights and actually tie into those so we can get the two halos working, as well as the two LEDs and the LED bar. Once we get that all installed back up, the 4th step is to put it all back together. So sit back and enjoy, and hopefully this will help you out. The first step is to take off the bumper. You're going to want to start in the wheel well area. You have 5 pop rivets that will run along the edge of the splash guard, or the wheel splash, and then you have 3 bolts. You have 2 8mm at the bottom, and then you have about 12 o'clock, you have a 10mm bolt, and the point of that is to pull that back so you can actually gain access to the bolts that connect the bumper to the fender. We do recommend that you take your wheels off for this. It makes the installation and removal a lot easier. We didn't, so you don't have to. Just keep in mind that it would be a lot easier if you did. After that, you have 3 pop rivets underneath. They are to hold these splash guards that keep water from coming up on your exhaust or your cold air intake. You want to take those off so they are disconnected from the cross member and where we were in the wheel well before. They are actually connected to that plastic as well, so you're going to want to remove those. So when we take the bumper off, you don't have to remove your entire splash guard underneath. You just have to remove the rivets that attach it to the car. The 2 that are in the middle are actually on your cross member right below your front motor mount. Next is the top of the bumper. You'll have 6 pop rivets on top and 2 10mm bolts. From left to right, you'll have a pop rivet here, followed by a 10mm bolt right next to it, a pop rivet here, and then here right next to the latch, and then another pop rivet on the other side, one here, followed by a 10mm, and then another pop rivet right next to it. After that, you should be pretty close. Don't forget to take the 2 10mm bolts out from the bumper. They actually connect the bumper to the fender. They're located right next to the light and then right on the edge of the fender well. After that, you should be all set to go to take it off. The headlights that you have here actually have little hooks in here to hook the bumper onto it, so you're going to want to remove those from each side, as well as pull these out so they're not connected to your fender anymore. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure that they're not connected to the fender anymore. And then I'm going to pop each side out from the light. And as you can see, as I do that, it's actually already almost ready to pull. And you just want to grab it here. You can grab a buddy if you want. Pull it out. So step 2 of the process, after removing the bumper, you're going to want to remove this headlight. When you took one of those bolts out that connected the bumper to the fender, one of those was actually threaded through a bracket for the headlight, so you've already removed 1 bolt. The second bolt is right up top, right here. I've already removed that one as well, keeping in mind that these are all 10mm, so it makes it really easy. And the third one is actually right here. So we're going to get to removing that one first. So now that all the bolts are removed, we can actually take off the headlight. As you can see, it's still sitting there nice and pretty. It's because it's actually clipped in at the top and down here. That way when you're reinstalling the new headlight, you don't have to fumble with it, trying to hold it in and bolt it in at the same time. So the next thing we're going to do is actually remove this headlight. The first thing we're going to want to do is pop this out, which pops out really easy. And then this one here, you're going to want to use a flathead screwdriver to get underneath it. And it actually pops over a square. So just pop it out just like that. Set this screwdriver down, and then pop this out like that. And then you have two connections in the back here that we will remove, which are just pressure clips. There's one. And two. And the old headlight is now removed. We're on to step 3, which is installing the new Halo headlights. Of course, we got to do a little bit of wiring. The plug-and-play application is actually for the headlight itself. The green connector on the 4G is a direct connection with the Halo headlight. All you do is plug it in, like so, and you're good to go with the actual headlight. And so the low beam and the high beam will work just fine like that. The headlight actually comes with a lot of LEDs and accessories that you can hook up and halos if you'd like. You do have an LED bar at the top as well as 2 single LEDs at the top. And then around the high and low beam you do have a halo, which is all these random black and white wires that you see hanging around here. We're going to hook up the halos, but if you want to hook up the rest of them, the process is exactly the same. So we're just going to hook these ones up, and if you do want to hook the other ones up, you can just do the same process over again. From the factory headlight, we actually took the blinker assembly out of it, so the entire assembly that screws into the factory headlight with the bulb, and you just plug it right back into the factory harness here. This will actually slide right into the aftermarket headlight the same way that it would in the stock. So obviously that is plug and play as well, because you're really not doing anything but removing it from one headlight and putting it in the next. When you take this out, this is the blinker here. You have a black wire and 2 green wires. One of them has a red tracer on it, and one of them has an orange tracer on it. We've established that the red tracer with the green wire with the red tracer is the blinker, and the green wire with the orange tracer is actually the accessory mode. So what we're going to want to do is actually tie in these halos to the green wire with the orange tracer. That way when we turn our accessory mode on, which is 1 click on the headlights, the halos will come on by themselves without anything else for an added look. And then when you turn your headlight all the way on, they will work as well. Obviously the power wire, which is white, will go to the green and orange, and then the black obviously goes to the ground wire, which is also with the blinker. So right up here we have a little bit of play here. There's a little bit of electric tape that you can kind of pull out of the way to get these hooked up right. So what we're going to want to do is take the black wire and put it on the outside of this butt connector, and then take the black wire of the halo and run it through the other side that actually doesn't have the pass-through, so it's actually going to butt up against the unit itself. Make sure you got it in there tight, and then you're going to take a pair of pliers and get that, crimp it down, and then I'll leave that open just for now, but you usually want to crimp that down. I'm going to leave it open just in case something happened. And then we're going to take this white one here and do the exact same thing. We're going to do this with the green wire with the orange tracer. Can't say it enough. Take this. And then we'll take the white wire here. Get it in there, nice and good. And then take the pliers again. And crimp it down. Make sure accessory mode on and see if we have halos, which we do. So those are the halo hookups there. If you remember before, I didn't actually finish the connectors. I finished them now, and I electrical taped them. That way any water can't get inside here and corrode the connections and make your halo stop working. And then the blinker bulb we're actually going to take out of the connector harness. It'll make it a lot easier to put it back into the aftermarket headlight. So I'm going to set this down right here. I'm going to take this headlight and flip it around here. And I'm going to take the blinker, and you'll see on it, it has 2 small sliders and a third larger locking slider. And on the housing here, it's pretty much set up the same way. It's just a puzzle. So you find which way it's supposed to go in, and you line it up, and then it'll lock in place so the connector is facing towards the inside of the car. Once you do that, you can connect the harness back to the blinker, and then as we took the stock headlight out, you'll have the slide connection up here and the insert connection down here. I'm just going to make sure that everything's lining up as I'm sliding it in here. And that lined up there, just like that. So right now it's just sitting in there, as it should. To put it back in, you just have this bolt here, and then this bolt here. But remember that this bolt will actually be bolted when you put the bumper back onto the fender. So, now that we have all this back connected, we're going to test it one more time. First thing we're going to do is turn back the accessory mode, make sure that the halos are working properly, which it looks like they are. And then when we turn the second click, which is the actual headlight, we should have a low beam, which is right here, which is also working. And then if you click it for the high beam, we want to make sure the high beam works as well, which it does. So we have a successful installation. And now that we've finished this, all we got to do is repeat this same process for the headlight on the passenger side of the car. We got everything completed. We put the bumper back on, we replaced all the rivets, and we double checked everything to make sure everything was correctly hooked up and properly reinstalled. We do have one update for you. The passenger side headlight, which would be this guy, where we tied in to the blinker on the driver's side, it was a green wire with an orange tracer. On the passenger side, it's actually a green wire with a white tracer. So we'll keep that in mind when you're plugging that in, that you're going to need a green wire with a white tracer on the passenger side for the accessory outlet for the Halo. So as of now, you should have everything you need to put the Auto City Imports black housing projector headlights onto your 4th generation Eclipse. If you do have any questions, go ahead and comment on the link below.